No. So I learnt a lot, and I applied a lot of what I learnt, and I grew a ledger pretty quickly. I was lucky off. I came in the industry and COVID happened pretty quickly. And no accounting firm is built to withstand JobKeeper, cash flow boost, and the media putting out new tax legislation overnight and us having to learn that. And so whilst a lot of the accountants were busy trying to do their bazzers and do this, I had $0 of revenue day one. So I would produce a bunch of content about cash flow boost, about JobKeeper, and I would help clients who couldn't get in touch with their accountant get in the door with them, help them on the front end, and then take over the tax and accounting and bazzers. And I loved it. I grew a really decent sized ledger, and I had a great time doing it. I learned a ton. But then it came to a point where I had a couple of senior accountants, and then they wanted to go out and start their own business. Everyone in that COVID period wanted to start their own business generally. And then I needed the systems, the back end, the processes. And part of why we merged the firm was that we obviously stayed in touch over that time. We'd had numerous conversations around what Latitude's doing and the systems and the processes and the changes you're making in your business. So I leave in 2016. We're having these conversations throughout 2020, 2021, 2022. And then when I come back in late 22 to chat about these things, you're showing me all these policies, procedures, vision, mission, purpose, values, all of these things that take a business from we're just a bunch of people doing a bunch of stuff to an aligned supercar that has all these well-oiled machines and parts moving in place to produce a great outcome for our clients and to bring the team. Because what is a business? It's people and it's processes. And I'll drop another book recommendation. There's a book called The E-Myth, which talks about your transition from a technician to an operator to building a business, similar to like cash flow quadrants from Robert Kiyosaki as well. What happened? Where did that journey come from? Between the time I left, which I had a great time working there, and but I also had a great time. So what happened? Tell me what happened.
So I get accused of being the king of reinvention sometimes because I like to reinvent, and if I'm guilty of anything, it's always I'm recreating the plan. All right, so I love planning. I love making goals, but I'm also recreating the plan because every time you create a plan and you move a few steps forward, you realize that when you get new information, the plan has to pivot. If you're just always operating on the old plan without any pivots or changes, then you're like a dinosaur that's not taking in the new sensory, the new data. You got to adjust for the new data.
Yeah.
The mindset shift is really what happened, right? So you left, the firm was doing okay, but like I said to you, when we started the business, we were just kids, mid-20s, right? Now, when we got to a point, we quickly pick up 20 grand files at a time because when we're the whole accounts department. We're doing the bookkeeping, accounts payable, payroll, accounts receivable, paying the super, doing everything for them. You pick up a client, it's a 20 grand file. Next thing you know, you've picked up 5 clients, you've replaced your wage. All right? So we got complacent, and it was a form of success. It just wasn't a great business model, right? So the form of success was we replaced our wages in no time, okay? We hired staff so we could deliver it, okay? And by hired staff, what I mean is I just collected people. Like Beck came to me from KFC. She's still with us today. She's a champion. I think Stephen was a kid that we picked up at church because he was telling me he was in high school and he was saying, I build gaming servers so people in Norway pay me money to play. I said, just come, we'll do accounting. My brother was saying to me, I want to be a financial advisor. I said, yeah, finance, accounting sounds good. Come, I'll teach you how to be an accountant. I was collecting people, and it was a little bit like of a tapestry of just throwing everything in. But the success was that we were making enough money to live, like pay off the credit card and live at that level where I'm like, okay, this is good, right? So what happened, because the vision wasn't clear from like the 2012 to 2016, sort of the end period of you leaving, is that it just became about like work-life balance. And we can talk about work-life balance, but it became like, okay, I'm making enough money. Now I want to pursue interests. So what did I do? Naturally, I traveled the world. I saw Europe, I saw the States, I saw Asia, I went back to Lebanon a bunch of times. Like I did all those things. I became an expert in all my interests. I became a hunting expert, the best hunter. I became the best golfer, most expensive golf clubs you've ever, still sit in my garage today. I became an expert in four-wheel driving. I bought a four-wheel drive, rock sliders and lift kit and like decked out a Jeep Wrangler. I love my Jeeps, you know.
Yeah, obviously.
So like I'm full driving now, and you know what? What's the point of life? What's religion? I went to Bible college. I graduated Bible college. You know, I'm studying philosophy and theology, and I'm doing all these things, but none of them is my core purpose and my core drive. So my mindset is just like live like a king, like do everything I want to do. I'm making like 180 grand a year. I'm the king of the world. I don't need to, accounting was, if anything, too easy in a sense in the early days. And the success made me complacent, lost focus of who we're trying to help, what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And as it happens in life, I got hit with a wake-up call. One of my interests was motorbikes. And I happened to be riding a Harley Davidson one Sunday evening in 2018. And my wife was on the back, and we got hit by a car. So in that moment, like I still remember being hit by a car, T-boned at full speed, and like flying in the air with my eyes open, like watching myself fly over a crash scene and land and break bones and everything, like right next to a telegraph pole.
It's insane.
And then realize that like in that instant when you get hit by a car, like I had the wherewithal to be like, you black out for a second, you open your eyes, you're looking up at the sky, and I'm like, my wife was on the back. Where's my wife? So I try to get up, and when I get up, I realize that like the right side of my body's no good, but I just like I'm limping, and I go over and I find where she is, and she's just gone under like a safety rail, like this big metal rail where like she's just cleared it under, also another telegraph pole, and she's lying there and she's broken 9 bones. Like she's no good, I'm no good. People start, rushing up, people phones out, Auburn 2144 on Snapchat is filming us on the floor we're dead. We should be dead. Like I should have died, right?
Yeah.
So
Lebo memes.
Lebo memes. I mean, I'm famous, but I'm also like I'm broken, and I spend the next 3 months in hospital, partially for myself, but also I didn't leave my wife's bedside until she was out of hospital. She had to learn to walk again. It was very difficult, right? So when you're in hospital and, you've had a really traumatic near-death experience, you start thinking about, well, what are you doing? Like, what's the point? Is the point to just chase all my interests? Is what value am I bringing to the world? And that really was the beginning of the mindset shift. So I come out of hospital and I'm like, okay, I got to rebuild my life from scratch. Physically, I have to get myself back to functional. My wife getting back to functional, no more playing golf, no more forward driving, hunting. Like I'm just trying to be functional, right? Get my body to be human. And that sort of it brought focus, like it really was the narrowing down of what am I here to do? You start asking the big questions about vision and purpose. So the origin of the rebirth of Latitude Accountants was the bike accident. It was, I've almost died. Every day now is a gift. I shouldn't be here. How do I add value to the world? How do I help people? What's the point of my life? Now live out every day like it's a free gift because I shouldn't be here.